going to switch right over here, and I have guests that I know. Joann has been on my show before a long time ago, I think.
See you again.
Oh, yes, good to see you. And then a brand new, Aaron, you're brand new on the show, I think. Have you been on before? I looked you up to see if you were on before. And
If it was back in 2008 when I worked at Proctor's when we were doing a new play festival. That might have been at your other location.
Yeah, that might be 2008, because we didn't come here until 2010.
So possibly, if not, I helped organize it. So I was affiliated in some way.
Yeah, I know, because I saw the name and I says, I know, has he been on the show? And I looked, I have a database, so I looked it up and I didn't see it, but that doesn't mean that you weren't on and I forgot to type it in or something, you know how that goes. I've never made a mistake before, maybe. So anyway, and we have you're on the board of directors of Amorak, is that, I'm saying that right?
Yep.
It's a youth group,
Yes.
right? And Kathleen, you're a doctor, you're a physician, correct? So you must have a good feel for youth and how they should get enriched.
Yes, I'm a retired.
Is that a good word to put?
Yes.
Tell me about what it does, what you do there.
So Amorak Youth is a group that provides free programs in the arts and science and community service and outdoor education for kids in the Warren, Washington, and Northern Saratoga counties.
Okay.
And all our programs are free so that there's never a
They're all free,
barrier for
okay.
kids
I
to
looked at your website, I was quite impressed with it. And we want to bring Joann in here because she's your
Yes.
music director, is that right?
That is correct. I came in, Bob Bates was my songwriting partner and my bandmate and my best friend for 40 years. And when he passed, he was the teacher. He taught everything. He taught drums, keyboards, every string instrument. When he passed away, there went other instructors. And so, because he
okay.
was the instructor.
He was the
He
man.
taught everything. And so I came in just to try to keep things going. They asked me to be the music director, and we renamed it the Bob Bates Amorak Players in his memory. And then I just
That was lovely.
yeah, and then I reconstructed the program because for me, it's imperative for a student to not just learn how to play an instrument, but it's important for them to learn how music works. And even more importantly, they need to learn how music works, how instruments work together.
Okay, good.
Which brings them to a band situation of how band members work together.
Mhm.
If you don't work together, you sound like a garage band.
And we had a band
And
on
you
this,
saw
and
how
you
they-
saw how well they worked
The
together.
harmonies and the fills, and so.
And you're a musician, so you would have appreciated
I am,
that. I thought
yes,
about that when
yes.
they were playing. I
And
thought,
we're
oh,
very
Joann.
familiar with each other.
Yeah.
We've played together for years and years
Yeah.
and years. So it was wonderful to run into them again. Yeah. So we're hoping for, our goal is that when these students become proficient on their instruments, that they can literally be in any situation and be able to join right in it. They understand music well enough and how to play and interact with each
It's
other.
an
well
education.
enough.
You're doing an overall education. But
Absolutely.
we have someone from the Glove Theater, right?
Yes.
Well, you're the Gloversville Theater
Corporation,
Yeah.
also known as the Glove Theater. So I'm on the board there.
And you work with Joann?
I do actually. I have known Joann. Our mothers lived in the same building in the 70s, so she's kind of a de facto mother, and I've gone to many of her concerts growing up. So earlier this month, we did a show that was all about
Wonder Women.
Wonder Women, all about women empowerment, and it was an idea that I had. Focusing solely on women accomplishments, women MC, honoring women movers and shakers within the Fulton County community, and realized while we can show movies, while we can show acts that come in, there's some logistics that are needed from putting a concert together and bringing artists from different areas. And no one on the board or our current staff had that skill set. Joann had agreed to be one of the players, and I had asked her to kind of help wrangle, serve as that organizer, as that producer, and she gratefully said yes. So it was great working with her. We had a great turnout, and incorporated a lot of great individuals from the area, and we're hoping that it will become kind of a yearly
A
event.
yearly event, yeah.
Yeah.
So we have like, we've heard about the 6 degrees of separation, but we have you with the Amorak. She's been with Amorak helping, and then now you work together. Are you working with the Gloversville?
I hadn't heard of them till today, so.
So
no,
now you
not
know.
yet.
Now you know that
Yeah.
maybe there's a connection there somehow.
Having been involved in theater, I left the area, actually worked.
So you were at Proctor's. I knew that
Yeah,
there was
actually,
something, connection
I
there.
worked with Philip. I worked very closely with Karen Johnson,
Yeah.
with Dan Sheehan, with Chris Sheehan.
And they're all up there except for Karen.
Exactly. But I learned a lot of, I think, my professional career I learned from her, and have utilized, I think, her methodology and Philip's methodology coming back to the Globe Theater, as I now work there as an urban planner. And Karen Johnson
Yeah, you
actually
have 2 jobs actually.
Yeah, and Karen actually did go to RPI to get her urban planning degree.
Yeah.
So we do have a strategic plan right now in place where we're starting to partner with regional and local arts organizations. That's not to say that Amorak won't be brought into the fold a year and a half from now, but looking at moving forward, just this year we have received over $4 million from the state of New York, $2 million Restore grant, 1.993 million, where we had actually Governor Hochul on the stage. It's the first time a governor had visited the city since Mario
Amazing.
Cuomo.
Yeah.
So while the Glove Theater had kind of been around, there had been some connections with Proctor's. There was a stage production of Evita that happened in the early 2000s. It just so happens that that paperwork is still there of the original vision of the board of directors. And it just so happens that the city's mayor happens to be the original board director. So we've been able to get a lot of feedback back and forth.
I see your Gloversville, what you're doing is not just a movie theater. What you're doing is almost becoming a performing arts center.
Yeah. Certainly, given the element with the Shine industry, the Shine family, that being sort of their center of their enterprise, think of the Regal Movie Theater, but think of it from a much more localized level. But there's certainly ties to the movie industry, and we offer, free movies
I
twice
saw
a
that,
week.
free movies. I thought, whoa, that's a very nice thing because movies are so expensive.
Yeah, and we are doing some partnerships with the Why Not Sisters, with Quintocracy, which I think is based out of
Yeah,
here.
Quintocracy, they perform here.
Yeah. Kuroka Arts Collective, and there is we do quarterly dance parties. The way that the
So
venue is.
you're doing much more than that.
Yeah, we recently have hired a facilities manager. We hired a general manager.
So you're expanding.
We are expanding. We are
And
expanding.
the more you expand, the more money that comes in. So it kind of works
Yeah.
together. Yeah.
Yeah, so we're taking we're actually working with CRG, which is the same architecture firm that worked with Proctor's
There you
and
go.
SLOC and Schenectady Civic
Yeah.
on their renovations.
Yeah.
And Philip and Dan Sheehan have actually been used as consultants
Yeah,
on this. So it's been working really well.
Right. Getting back to Amorak, because the youth group, do you use volunteers or?
We use volunteers, and we also pay program directors depending on what the program is and what kind of needs there are.
Like she's doing the music, but you have other programs that you're working.
Right. We have science and nature programs. We work with the Hudson Falls and Fort Edward Rec departments to offer those during the summers. This one's going to be called The Secret Life of Trees. So kids can
Secret
find
Life of
out
Trees, I love
why
that.
fish need trees. Yep. And we've had programs that we've worked with BOCES, the Warren, Washington, Hamilton County BOCES.
Yeah, there's
And-
BOCES in every county. Yeah.
Right, and now the Hudson Falls High School that we're calling Hudson Falls Heroes, and it's to introduce the teenagers to all the vital volunteer organizations that are necessary for any community to thrive, like Red Cross.
So you're
Fire
really a
Department, EMS.
network. Not only do you help the kids, you also are making
Oh, yes.
them aware of other.
Yeah, we collaborate because we don't have a facility, so we collaborate with other organizations. The Strand Theater's been a big supporter of ours. Our programs, our music programs have been held there.
That's
And you got a great music director.
We
Yeah.
couldn't ask for anybody better than
Yeah.
Joann. We're so thrilled that
Yeah.
she has, we didn't think we could ever replace Bob Bates, but Joann is doing a terrific job.
Yeah.
And we've had other, like drumming circles, we've had stream programs, we've had outdoor education programs like kayaking and hiking.
So you run the whole gamut of activities for kids. Now, can any kid or I don't say kid or child, you know what I mean anyway. Is anyone, or do they have to be underserved, or?
No, it's anyone, and it's school age, so we're not doing the under fives and we're not doing the over 18s. But
Oh, okay,
it's
so you're
school-age
doing
kids.
school age program. Do you work with the schools?
Well, in some of the programs we do, the Hudson Falls Heroes this fall will be with the Hudson Falls High School. So sometimes it's with a school, sometimes it's with an organization like the American Legion. Sometimes it's with artists that have their own programs that we ask them to run a program for us literally in art, or clay, or some media.
But you said there's no charge, right? So
Right.
where do you?
We get grants. We apply for
You're
grants.
nonprofits, you have a board of directors,
Right,
which
we
of
have
course
a
you're on the board.
directors, nonprofits. We have a wonderful angel in Frank Smith who used to live in Hudson Falls and has been supporting our programs, especially the music program,
Okay.
for many, many years. And we get grants from LARAC, the Tuba Foundation, the Glens Falls Foundation, Stewart Shops, Hannaford, Adirondack Trust, a lot of different.
So you get a lot of community support.
Right.
And then the more you do and the more visibility that you have, the more money that comes in.
It builds
Just-
confidence in the community to want to participate, donate.
Exactly.
And the better that.
They wanna
the
show
better
their
we do,
presence.
the better
Yeah.
they do, and then the better they do, the better we do. So,
Well, it's all about working together.
absolutely.
Whether you're working with a theater, whether you're working at
Absolutely.
Amorak.
It's an
I mean,
orchestra, right?
and I think
It's
we
all an
found that
orchestra
out.
Working together.
I think we found that out when money got tight and people realized, organization felt that we can't duplicate services, but we can work together. I'll do better on this one, you do better on that one, and then we'll work together.
With
I
the
mean,
music program, not only are the instructions no charge, but if the student doesn't have an instrument, we will provide them with an instrument.
Really?
And we do, and we encourage them to learn more than one instrument. Not that they have to become proficient on both instruments, but it's our goal, like I said, to teach them how instruments work together. So we have a drummer, for example, his name is Miles Robertson, and he's also learning bass because I want him to understand in a band the relationship between the drums and the bass.
Anytime you can learn a second skill, it
Yeah.
makes you more appreciative of
Yeah.
what the others are
And
doing.
it makes them more marketable if they want to do that as a living.
Exactly.
And we
I
really
wanna-
want young people to explore different things.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And the last 3 years have been so hard on children, and they've had so little opportunity
I know.
to be in a group, to be with
Who
each
would have
other.
expected the pandemic? No,
Right.
not you, not me. It was one of those things that just cropped up, and then they say, well, there could be another one. Oh, yeah, thank you. Oh, well, I better not throw out those masks. So I want to thank you all for being here. Erin, it's good to see you again.
Good
You
to
have a
see
different-
you.
Different hat on there.
Yeah.
And Joann, you need to come on sometime and play some music with us.
I would
Yeah,
love to.
Yeah,
Thank you,
love
Ann.
to have you on. Kathleen, thank you for coming and taking some time out of your busy schedule. And I'm sure that you devote a lot of time to Amorak. And thank you for what you do for the youth. Very important. Thank you. Thank you all for being
Great.
here.
Thanks, Ann. You
We're gonna
take care of
switch,
yourself.
yeah, we're gonna switch over and talk about art.